Henry live, coming out of you from New York City, a warm New York City. I'm here with a great panel of guests and a special guest. I have Alyssa Nahum. I hope I'm saying your name right, Alyssa. You can always correct me if I'm not saying it right. She's a Republican candidate running on New York State Senate, District 11 here in New York. We have on the 23rd of June, we have our primary, and it's going to be very interesting because right now there's so much happening right now between what's happening in our country, between what happened with the unfortunate death of George Floyd, protest riots. And just wanted to talk a little bit in my intro on our guest. She is running against John Liu. He's an incumbent Democrat with 334,000 people in her district. And the last time a Republican ran in that district, the person lost. The incumbent won with 53% of the vote compared to 24.3% of the vote. And right now, the demographics here is 55% Democrat, 17.2% Republican, 23.9% non-party affiliate. And the demographics is 38% white, 3% African-American, 16% Hispanic, 39% Asian, which you're gonna find that very interesting, guys. In New York, you don't have a lot of districts that have such a high Asian population, which they're great folks. Nahum for coming on in her busy schedule to say she's a Republican. And look at there, she did interviews with me, which is great. We have done interviews together. We have been in this fight here in New York. And she is one that she's dedicated, that she wants to go strong and running in this district. Alyssa, welcome today with my panel of guests. They will introduce themselves in a little bit. Alyssa, you want to give an introduction and say, why are you running for New York State Senate?
Thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. And I'm welcome to answer any questions and discuss my campaign. So your question to me is, why am I running in my District 11, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well, actually, I'm a citizen of the Flushing area. I actually am a resident of Flushing, Queens, my whole life.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, congratulations and condolences. I know how tough your race is.
Yes.
So, Alyssa, your district is actually about half the size of a congressional district. So that's a mighty big group of people that you've got there.
That's correct.
Typical New York.
Yes.
I know. High density, right?
Yes. Kind of like a horseshoe. It goes all the way around. It's kind of like goes like this. Yeah, it's quite a lot of people. Yes.
So when you're out there, because of COVID-19, it kind of gives the incumbent a little bit of a kind of an edge since he's already wearing the title. It must be a bit of a challenge with COVID-19 to be out and about and safe.
Well, I'm doing everything, of course, with safety. So when I'm in front of, let's say, a supermarket and I'm giving out flyers or I'm talking to people, I have a mask on and I'm 6 feet apart from them. So, you know, I'm doing the best I can under the circumstances.
This is our system that has been built over 40 years of systematic racist society led by white male in this country. What we need to do is to be sure that immigrants, working class, middle class, New Yorker, Black, Asian, Latino, all of us, receive the support that we need, especially on good quality education, affordable housing, good paid job, justice for George Floyd, but also support our community and the white leadership, Governor Cuomo, Controller Di Napoli, Controller Stringer, Mayor de Blasio, you know, Speaker Johnson. Use the white privilege that you have as leader of this nation to share those with the Black and Asian community who deserve, and Latino who deserve more opportunity to see our children moving forward, getting good quality education, getting good paycheck.
Let me ask you quick. So, but I'm saying I'm 35 years in this neighborhood. I'm Latino, Dominican. What do you think? Should we have what happened last night? Do you think we should have the National Guard? We should, because the police are trying their best.
So the answer is no, not to the curfew, not to the National Guard, yes to this movement. I've been there in the street in the past at 2 in the morning, protesting, being part of civil disobedience. I support the movement, not to the curfew, not to the National
Guard. In regards to social, racial issues, and I have invited two of my really good friends. The first person I want to introduce you to is Henry Grullon. He is from New York City. He actually lives in the heart of the COVID center, the virus. And recently we heard that they have some racial tensions because of the George Floyd murder, or George Floyd incident. And also we have Dr. Annette Tejero. Dr. Annette Tejero is a medical doctor. She is an anesthesiologist. She's one of the top anesthesiologists of Nevada, and she was the 2014 and 2016 congressional candidate of in Nevada. Welcome, Henry, and welcome, Dr. Annette.
Thank you, Edwin.
All right, so let's get in, with this whole mess. And, there's a whole bunch of things going on. So before we get into that, why don't we talk a little bit more about your background, just so the audience feels, it understands who we're going to be talking about. So why don't we go with you, Dr. Annette? Can you tell us your background and what your medical expertise is?
Right. So for me, I am a Nevada resident for over 44 years, only leaving for residency, obviously, in the state of Washington is where I did my anesthesiology residency. But I am a medical doctor who then specialized in anesthesia. I have spent a few decades actually being an advocate for patients on a political realm. And yes, I did decide to run for office shortly after the Affordable Care Act passed, because I felt that there were too many things in it to try and explain to legislators. So with that in mind, I'm looking at this from the point of view of a medical doctor and seeing how it is that George Floyd ended up having some episode happen. And although a lot of questions aren't answered, I hope to answer some of them today.
Great. And also, Henry, you are a former NYPD. And the reason why we've asked you on this feed is because we want to get the perspective of law enforcement officers. So what's your background?
Thank you, Edwin, and it's an honor to be with you and Dr. Annette. Hello, everyone. My name is Henry Grullon, and yes, I'm an investigative reporter out of New York City. And like you said, my background is as an NYPD officer, transit police. And that was back in the 90s, a long time ago, but I did the police academy training. And I found this very interesting to see what's happening with this individual that died. It's incredible that I could give you my insight on a police background. Here in New York City, we consider NYPD the best NYPD, obviously, in the world, we would say, because we're prideful of it. We could start discussing this because this is